Breaking news! Lamar Jackson's injury status has sparked a firestorm in Baltimore, and now, new insider information is flipping the script entirely. Just days after fans braced for a 2 to 3 week absence, a fresh update suggests something very different is happening behind the scenes. But there's a twist you didn't see coming, and it could change how the Ravens approach not just Sunday, but the entire season ahead. But before we dive into it all, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you feel like it, comment, "Go Ravens," down below. Let's flood the feed with purple pride. And here's a question to get us started. Would you sit Lamar this week, even if he says he's ready to go? Let me know what you think. Now let's get into the full story. This has arguably been one of the hardest weeks to be a Baltimore Ravens fan in the past decade. Just a constant stream of bad news, one after the other. First, the team drops to 1-3 on the season. Then, a wave of injury reports hits like a freight train. Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey, Nnamdi Maddox, the list keeps growing. The situation gets even more bleak when the Baltimore Sun reports that Lamar Jackson could be sidelined for 2 to 3 weeks with a hamstring injury, meaning he's likely to miss Sunday's matchup against the Houston Texans. But just when hope seemed lost, NFL insider Ian Rapoport dropped a critical update that might shift everything. According to Rapoport, those 2 to 3 week reports may not be accurate. He clarified it's more of a week-to-week situation for Lamar, and more importantly, he's trying to suit up this Sunday. That little sliver of optimism might be exactly what the Ravens need to rally. Still, let's be realistic. Even with Lamar aiming to play, it's hard to imagine him taking the field at full strength. And the debate now isn't just can he play, it's should he play. With a critical game against the Rams looming in Week 6, a team stacked with talent, a dangerous pass rush, and a top-tier QB in Matthew Stafford, pushing Lamar out early against a weaker Houston team might be a reckless risk. Speaking of Houston, there's growing belief that the Ravens could actually pull off a win without Lamar. Cooper Rush, while not a game-changing quarterback, has proven he can manage a game. Combine that with a healthy dose of Derrick Henry, and you have a real shot at taking down a struggling Texans squad. The Texans' offense is near the bottom of the league in points per game, yards per play, and just about every meaningful stat. If there's a team you want to face while your MVP is banged up, it's probably Houston. But here's where the problem really starts, the defense. Even if Cooper Rush can manage the offense, what can this defense realistically do with 6 starters likely out? Kyle Van Noy, Marlon Humphrey, Roquan Smith, Nnamdi Maddox, all expected to miss time. Travis Jones and Broderick Washington, also up in the air. We're talking about a unit that's already ranked near the bottom in almost every defensive metric, and now they're operating without their core leaders. Now think about this. Lamar Jackson had a 141.8 passer rating, 10 total touchdowns, and 0 turnovers through the first 3 games of the season, and the team was still 1-2. The Ravens scored 111 points over those first 3 games, the most ever by a losing team in NFL history across that span. That tells you all you need to know about how poorly the defense has performed. This is where it gets especially concerning. Even if Lamar does play hurt, there's no guarantee that this team wins. Which leads to a bigger question. Do you push him and risk a more serious injury in a game you should be able to win without him? Or do you sit him, try to survive this week, and have him rested for the much tougher Rams game? There's also a strategic angle here that shouldn't be ignored. If the Ravens can limp into the bye week at 2-4, whether Lamar plays both games, one game, or none, it would be a moral victory at this point. That sentence might have sounded insane 2 months ago, but considering the current situation, it's the reality fans are forced to accept. The X factor in all this? Derrick Henry. Whether Lamar plays or not, the workload should shift heavily to Henry. If Cooper Rush is under center, there should be no hesitation. Give Derrick Henry the ball 40 times if necessary. That's not hyperbole. The Titans rode Henry to an AFC Championship appearance with Ryan Tannehill. He's done it before, and he may have to do it again if the Ravens want to keep this season from slipping away before the bye. Let's keep going. Everything about this situation screams high risk, low reward if the Ravens decide to play Lamar Jackson against the Texans. Think about it. You've got a franchise quarterback who's already had his share of injuries in recent seasons, and now he's nursing a hamstring issue. And anyone who's ever played football, or even watched it long enough, knows how delicate a hamstring injury can be. One wrong cut, one sprint out of the pocket, and boom, you could lose Lamar for 4 to 6 weeks instead of 1 or 2. That's a price this team absolutely cannot afford to pay. The smarter play? Sit him. Let Cooper Rush handle the Texans. This isn't about underestimating Houston, it's about being strategic. Rest Lamar, get him as close to 100% as possible, and unleash him against the Rams. Because let's not pretend LA is just another team. This is a high-powered squad with one of the best passing attacks in the NFL right now. Matthew Stafford is second in the league in passing yards, and with weapons like Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, you better believe they're coming for blood. Even worse, the Rams will be coming off an 11-day rest period because they play on Thursday Night Football the week before. That gives them a mini-bye, extra time to game plan, get healthy, and prepare to exploit the Ravens' defense, a defense that, again, is barely holding itself together. Facing the Rams without Lamar Jackson would be walking into a gunfight holding a spoon. So here's the plan fans should be hoping for. Sit Lamar against Houston, let Henry pound the ball 30 to 40 times, control the clock, and just survive. Lean on the offensive line. Let the defense, battered and bruised as it is, show some heart, force a couple of turnovers, and win ugly. If you escape Houston with a win, then your reward is potentially having Lamar Jackson fresh, focused, and dangerous for Week 6. Now, let's shift focus for a second to Lamar's actual performance this season, because even if he's not 100%, his production has still been top tier. A 71.6% completion rate, 869 yards, 10 touchdowns, and no turnovers through the first 3 games of the year. That's elite, no question. But even with all that, the Ravens couldn't convert his brilliance into wins. Why? Because this defense has collapsed time and time again. The painful truth is this: the Ravens are wasting Lamar's prime if they can't give him a defense that can at least hold the line. And it's not just about yardage or points, it's the energy. The missed tackles, the lack of pressure, the inability to generate turnovers. There's no swagger, no identity. And now, with 6 key starters out, it's not just a personnel problem, it's a leadership void. Who's going to step up? Who's going to be the voice in the huddle? Who's going to make that crucial third down sack or strip fumble when the game's on the line? This game against the Texans is the defense's moment. Lamar might not be there to save them. The offense might be vanilla with Cooper Rush under center. This is the game where guys like Zach Orr and the rest of the coaching staff need to dig deep and get creative. Scheme pressure. Force C.J. Stroud into mistakes. Do something to stop the bleeding, because if this defense continues to flounder, it won't matter if Lamar plays next week, or even if he's healthy by the bye. The season could slip too far out of reach. Fans are frustrated, and rightfully so. This season was supposed to be different. You brought in Derrick Henry to take the pressure off Lamar. You brought in veteran talent. You made win-now moves. And yet, for weeks in, you're fighting just to survive. There's still time to turn it around, but only if everyone steps up, not just Lamar. The next few weeks will define this season. If the Ravens go into the bye at 2-4, that might just be enough to reset, regroup, and make a real run. But if they fall to 1-5, the margin for error vanishes. The AFC is too competitive. You can't stumble through the first half and expect to claw your way back in December. So this isn't just about Lamar Jackson's hamstring. It's about trust. Can you trust this team without him? Can you trust the coaching staff to make the right decisions? Can you trust this defense to show some fight? And can the Ravens still live up to the expectations that were sky high just a month ago? Only time will tell. But for now, all eyes are on the Texans game. And one thing is clear, it's not just another Sunday. It's a test of who the 2025 Ravens really are. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for daily Ravens content, and check out the videos on screen right now. We'll keep bringing you the most passionate and in-depth Ravens coverage all season long.